And we're live. I sneaked up on everyone. Who all is in here? Lars Purdue was here. NSB Custom Cars. The Hot Rod Guy Garage. Unfinished Project. The One-Eyed Cat. Technician Troy. How's it going, sir? Justin Hill. Where's the party? Party's right here. It's not Idaho, but it'll work. Pure Pontiac Garage is here. Junkyard D. Mohawk 62. Frankenstein C20. The Mrs. One-Eyed Cat. Bigfoot Mark. Van E. Boyd. Early and no commercials. You know what? I have no idea what the deal is with commercials before this live. I have no idea, obviously, because I can't start it and then go see. But what do you guys usually see? What do you usually normally get for commercials? Are they during this live too? I don't know. Jason's Garage Inc. Cope Racing Transmission says hello, everyone, and Jenny. And the instructions for CRT Shift Kit have now landed. They are up on YouTube. If you are even thinking about getting a CRT Shift Kit for your 727 or 904, the instructions are now up. Unfinished Project's got his potato. Well, cool. I went a little early today. Been having a lot of fun, doing a lot of cleaning, running into old pictures and things. I found an ID card today from when I was in college. If it didn't have my name on it, I wouldn't have believed it was me. Colleen Tebow, a.k.a. Mama M Cubed. Cope says, I just hope you can stay awake. I hope you can stay awake during this live and in that valve body video. It's actually a good video. I know Cope isn't as excited about it as nerds like me are, but it is interesting. And I think my favorite thing in it is he's got a really neat hack for where to drill out the casting when you modify the valve body. So if you're familiar with doing shift kits from other manufacturers, there's a piece of the casting you take out. And he's got a great hack on how to line that up. I thought was pretty cool. Bigfoots and Mopar says, I do premium, never see commercials ever. I probably should, but I don't. Danny Boyd has ad block. That surprises me. I would think Danny Boyd would want the commercials. Ryan Barsness is here. One-Eyed Cat says, I already have my Cope equipment. Yes, you do. You have a CRT shift kit before they were offered to the public in your transmission. There's Lunar Outlaw Garage. Well, before they were offered for the public as a do-it-yourself kit. They've been done by CRT for decades. Unfinished Project says you've got 90 days for 500 subs. It's 5.6 subs per day. Easy. For him, yes. And, you know, anyone can still do it. I've actually probably gotten right now about 57 subscribers just from the shorts deal. Because I've been doing it too. Today's short was on a Holly carburetor. So see, I'm still catching people coming in. My mom is here. Lunar's here. Landon Custom Classics is here. Glad everyone could make it. Boy, Jethro even threw off his timing. He's over there. He didn't like it in here. You're hanging out in the office today? Maybe. KJ Kylie. My mom made a second comment, which means she's doubled her commenting on this video versus most. It's impressive. Engine Light Garage, how's it going? Engine Light Garage, I believe, is at 336 subscribers right now, or 338? 338. Ray Owens says, hello, everyone. Well, how's it going, sir? Unfinished Project has gotten 90 subscribers from the 30 shorts over 30 days. Technically, I just said it was a short a day between tomorrow and July 4th, and that makes 30 of them. And the day I said tomorrow was June 4th, so June 5th. But people who started on the 4th or have one day up higher on their count. But yeah, June 5th through July 4th is 30 of them. And the last one's on July 4th, so I encourage you to make it a patriotic themed one. One-Eyed Cat says, Lunar, if you're going to No Name Nationals, I want a piece of that Buick. Just saying. Lunar, you can mail him a piece of the Buick stuff that's not going back in it. How about that? Danny Boyd says we're short about the Duntov cam. I don't own one. I couldn't do one. Lunar says his current job isn't giving him much spare time. It's fun producing video for Hemmings, but it's time consuming. I hear that. Big James of SSR Performance. How's it going? Turbo Tom has a video that's about a year old, but he tagged me on it recently. It's a 69 Hemi Roadrunner. It's a beautiful car. You can see that on Turbo Tom's channel. It has the same air filter lid that I did that short of. Of course, the one on this guy's car looks far nicer, but it is the same lid. But you know what's interesting is the variety of responses I get on that, because I knew pretty much what it was. And although sometimes people will give you something new you hadn't heard before, but it's amazing the stuff you'll hear. And it's really something. I mean, if you'll notice on those lids, you have two different lids. If you have the 2 4-barrels, the studs are much closer together in the lid than they would be for 3 2-barrels. And if you had a single 4-barrel, it takes the same lid as the 2 4-barrels. It just has a different way that it attaches. Rapid Transit J is here. What's going on? Dean Stevenson from the other side of the world. How's it going, sir? Yeah, I've been trying to do a lot of interesting preparation stuff. I've got my printer here that you can't see. It's just off screen. I'm going to put this printer on something that's a little bit lower. I'm going to move a filing cabinet in here, and then I'm moving some filing cabinets out of the garage. I need to move several out anyway, so one of them is going to go right here. And anyway, I'm going to reclaim the one side so I can do more fun stuff in there. More to come on all of that. Hi, Tom, SSR Performance. Any of you who do not recognize SSR Performance, that is Big James of the James and James Show, which has been rebranded to SSR Performance, who's been working on his home garage. It's a mess. Man, mine is a disaster. I finally cleaned out one corner. I had a little shop fire, nothing too significant, but it was a mess. And I had one corner I had just like finally gotten down in the grimiest part of it and clean. And I just keeping on going. So Eric Halverson at Bonnet Auto. Hello, guys. Couldn't control my curiosity and had to check in. Okay. Welcome. But it's paying off. It's good to do it. I needed to do it. But man, I find stuff in there that I'm just like, oh my gosh. I found old catalogs of just paper mache, and you know how it goes when you start cleaning like that. But when Office Max went out of business here in town, I bought them out of the really good quality industrial metal shelving. I love that stuff. And so I bought them out of it. It's completely adjustable, holds a ton of weight. I mean, you could stack that thing full of cylinder heads. You could put blocks on it. That stuff's so heavy. And, well, I mean, I can climb it on the edge. That's how heavy the stuff is. But I bought them out of it. And so the garage is 24 feet across. And I did 7 sections and left one empty. So yeah, I did 7 4-foot sections, one empty, and then the empty section is where the heater is and the press is. And I've got 3 of them up and 4 to do. I needed to move some stuff, and I'll put the other 4 up. It's going to be a lot of work, but it's going to be worth it. Blue Grit Garage working his way up through the No Name 500. How's it going, sir? I would work on those shorts, man. It's going to help you a lot. Big Bad Jones, he's at 426 as of this afternoon. So, Big Bad Jones, you've only got 74 more to do. If you've not seen Big Bad Jones' road trip video in his 72 Coronet, you should. It's a fun one. Followed an alternator the whole way, but he won. Thumper is here. How's it going, sir? Anything new to report, Mr. Thumper? Yeah, this week has been interesting. It's been a lot of fun. It is kind of exciting getting projects ready for new stuff. And I'm working on a build table. I keep wanting to find an old laboratory table because the Virginia Tech surplus auction is very close to here. And I keep wanting to find one of those stainless lab tables. I just missed out on a couple of them a couple months ago. I was like, bummer. But they have them regularly, so. Anyway, we'll see. But when I get that build table, there'll be some cool stuff getting done on it. Thumper says, new fuel pump doesn't seem to work. Also on the short every day, I'm up almost 50 subs. Yeah, I'm up 55 or 57. Blue Grit says, I put up a short of a lady warming up her 62 dragster in a parking lot at dusk. That's a winner. That's cool. Oh my gosh. Turbo Tom has some news from, I guess, from Woke Central here. Starting in August, Chrysler Masters are no more. The word master is offensive. Well, I refuse to be canceled and play into that utter nonsense. It's ridiculous. Like, you can't use master bedroom. That's stupid. I will always use that. You will never please the people who pretend to be offended at things and try to get their handbook for language. They'll just add to it and add to it and add to it because they've always got to have a way to catch you out of compliance somehow. They'll never be pleased. So I just don't participate in it. It's ridiculous. Master cylinder, slave cylinder. So what? I'm not going to accommodate those people. And they shouldn't have either. $113's just dropping by. He said 90 days. Let's get it. Cool, man. I'm glad you swung by, and looking forward to seeing you in Sykeston. Big Bad Jones says, I about got the kinks sorted out, and can't start the hot rodding stuff of that Coronet. Want a shift kit. That's the shift kit to get, is the one that CRT sells. I believe it to be superior for a few reasons over the other offerings from their competitors. And if you've never done a shift kit before, in my opinion, if you can do a carburetor, you can do a shift kit. I put them right about the same skill level and stuff that you have to do. Thumper says, I'm offended. Master is my preferred pronoun. Exactly. Jay is offended by everyone being offended. I'm not offended by people being offended. I'm offended by people pretending to be offended. Functional history says that pretend defenders are beginning to lose the battle. Yeah, it's people have gotten really tired of it. Yeah, how are you going to do ignition timing? You can't say retarded now because you're retarded timing. I mean, there's no end to it. There's no end to it. The only way to win is not to play. Hey, Rebel Driver's Garage. Thumper told me to come by. Glad you're here. And thanks for subscribing. Can you be a dog's master? I don't know. I don't think there's any end to it. I really don't. There is no end to it. There is no end to it. I think that the things that allegedly people are trying to accomplish by reforming our language are going to wind up gaining this much goodwill and that much resentment. And that's why I think it's a mistake to accommodate these people who feign offense to stuff. I truly believe it is a mistake for that reason. Thumper says the short I put up today is about 7,000 views. Biggest first day ever. Yeah, that's good. That's good. I'd take it. My shorts are doing surprisingly well. So I think that shorts in general do better now than they did when YouTube was new, because shorts feed is a thing now. I used to put up shorts, and if they got a few hundred views, I thought, wow, that's doing pretty good. And if I did a short that only got a few hundred views now, I'd be like, ooh, that fell flat. Here's a link to Thumper's 7,000 view short. Functional history says he's out of smokes. Got to run out and grab those. Leave you playing for the view. Okay. Levi says, what about a master kill switch? I don't know. I'm not worried about keeping up with that game. I'm just not. It's a game I'm not interested in playing. And I don't consent to their sanctions for not. One-Eyed Cat says, now I need to get a torque converter in the works. Puzzle pieces, Talk to Mike Ivan, Top Line Converter. Talk to him. I think I've sent you his number. And he can hook you up and get you what you need. Hot Rod Guy Garage says, we live in a sad world with all the crazies, not even like the old crazy. Oh, yeah. Well, old crazy was more like an occurrence. Today's crazy is a manufactured condition. A lot of it is. Because now you've got just huge layers and layers and layers of all these drugs and prescription drugs and all of that in there, more so than ever before. So, yeah. And we don't have institutions or anything now. So we live in interesting times. Southern Juju is here. Big Mike of the Hoopty Barn is here. How's it going, sir? Rob's Rods and Streetcars. How's it going? How you doing, Rob? Thumper says you can't say kill on here either. Well, I just take my chances. So if you have a kill switch, I don't know what to tell you. If your car is set on kill to make a fast pass, I don't know what to tell you. If someone says to kill the music, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, they're funny. YouTube I see more channels doing workarounds for words that they know that the machine is looking for. All kinds of silly words, right? Like I saw someone unalived himself as a workaround. And unfortunately, I think the people at YouTube, because they already suffer from a massive lack of wisdom, I think rather than saying, you know what, we've got people doing these incredible workarounds, it tells us that we're being ridiculous. No, I think they'll double down and say, oh, now we want to win the game, so we're going to try to catch all the workarounds to show them who's boss. That's what I expect from the people at YouTube who have no wisdom, the best I can tell. I'll get it to you, One-Eyed Cat. You know, I might even know where there's an ideal converter for you. I'd have to look into it. Remind me after this live and I'll ask. Big Bad Jones says, I got pinging and can't do anything about it because the R word isn't allowed. Well, again, if you don't consent to be canceled, it's hard to cancel you. SSR Performance says, what's up, Big Mike? That's a great question. What is up, Big Mike? I know that Mike was last year was doing a daily countdown, getting his ride ready for the No Name Nationals this time last year with 90 days to go. So what are we doing 90 days out this year, Big Mike? Unfinished project. He's got bot things to do, but he'll be back. Well, see, that gets the movie Groundhog Day too now, doesn't it, Thumper? Blue Grit says people have too much time on their hands to make all this stuff up and need to quit giving them money. Yes, if they had a job, there'd be no time for this nonsense. I agree. KJ Kiley says, did you all those dogs that were rescued swimming a mile from shore? There were dogs swimming a mile from shore that were rescued? That's cool. I'm glad. Ray Owens says, not offended at all. Well, most people really aren't. There's a grievance industry that operates in bad faith in this country. It is a grievance industry. It operates in bad faith, and it is designed to weaponize against people, to cancel people, and it disgusts me. Big Mike's Hoopty Barn says, I'm just finishing up some loose ends on the farm work. Ordered hopefully my last part needed to finish up the Green Goblin. See how on the ball Mike is? We have 89 days, 3 hours, and 40 minutes to go until third annual AHRA No Name Nationals, and Mike just ordered the last part he needs and not the first part he needs. Mike's got it going on. And this will make 3 builds in 3 consecutive years for Mike, too. There are not many people who can say that, who've done a build each year. Impressive stuff. Dean says, at least your ferry boat didn't crash into the South Island. Oh my gosh. Big Bad Jones says, great peace have they which love thy law, and nothing shall offend them. I can see some of that. Psalm 119, 165. Thumper says, I did a truck, a trailer, 2 cars, but still only showed with an empty trailer. It happens. One-Eyed Cat says, I may as well call out the Green Goblin, get in line. Mike is a doer. That's all there is to it. No nonsense guy. Yes, he is. Mike is the guy who they made that expression. If you want something done, ask someone who's busy. Mike is that guy. Mike gets it done. Small business owner. You can tell he's cut from that kind of cloth. Dean says, you win some, you lose some. Wendy gives us an update that says, I'm back. I just got off the phone with my boss. Well, Wendy, do you still have a job? Or are you back for good now? Twisted Mopar Garage, Dennis is here. How's it going, sir? Dennis, how's your car doing? Are you ready for the No Name Nationals? Do you have everything sorted out? Bad Tree Blake is here and says, Heathens Assemble. Thanks for swinging by. I thought about you today, Blake. I was looking at vintage bumper stickers. I thought that's pretty cool. You got the student driver sticker on, I think, everything in the Bad Tree fleet. Mike says, don't swell my head up too much. Mike, as long as it fits in the helmet, we're good. I get that, Don, but I got to push your button somehow. Hot Rod Guy Garage is trying to get more power in this 300. Not much testing time to play around with 89 days, 3 hours, and what, 37 minutes? Yeah. Yes, student driver sticker on the back of the entire Bad Tree fleet. It's I think I have a picture from Sykeston, side by side with the stickers. SSR performance. So we are 90 days out. Yeah, day 90 is almost over. The day that's up back here is the day that's burning away. So as soon as the paper comes over, there's less than 24 hours. So right now, there are only 3 hours and 36 minutes left in day 90. So it's 89 plus that. Levi's Backyard Performances. Don't answer my phone for work call anytime on the weekend and after I'm clocked out unless they're paying me. Currently, it's not my job. I wouldn't have a job if I was like that. Bad Tree says, mo money, mo power. Money can help in the power department, that it can. Twisted Mopar says, enjoying the heat. I am, but man, it gets hot. It's hot right now. It's in the 80s right now. I had the fan running until just a few minutes before this live because it's so noisy. Yeah, Big Bad Jones was throwing down some rhymes from Psalms earlier. Twisted Mopar's got some junk fenders in color looking pretty good. You know what? There's some 57 fenders you can start on next. Round Bar's Nest says it's raining constantly and flooding fields around me. I don't know what that's like. We don't have anything like that here. I'll tell you what, if it floods where I am, y'all are all gone. SSR says, I always answer his calls. That's the money calls. Well, I have to. I mean, I don't really have a choice. Ed's Machine is here. What's going on, Ed? What's going on new in the world of Ed's Machine? How's your paint job timeline looking for your duster? Lunar says he finally got his first video in 8 months the other day. Yeah, I saw that. He does an LS swap into a Buick. Twisted Mopar Garage says that Tony's Hot Rod Garage, his company Gunslinger Graphics, has the Twisted Mopar Garage hats available along with t-shirts. Unfinished Project has the link for Buff Del Campo. Buff's at 460 subs. Buff just needs 40 more. He's close. Blue Grit says, I need to get my mother-in-law to let me park a car in her garage to free up space. It would be nice to drag the Maverick into my garage so the mosquitoes don't get him. Yeah, well, I hear that. Buick Smith has registered for the No Name 500. His link is pinned at the top. Buick Smith, as of this afternoon, had 62 subscribers. So he's got his work cut out for him. So if you would, check out Buick Smith's channel. If he earns your sub, that's great. He earned mine. He's got a cool video where he has an electric bicycle board track racer. It's a board track racer tribute bike, and he runs it around everywhere and through a college campus. It's a neat video. It's good stuff. Patrick Blake says, if it keeps raining, I might be out of a job but end up with riverfront property. There you go. Thumper says, you could do it, Buick. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. But you got to use them all. All right. You can't come back to something in a week or two. That's the key, just staying on it. Hey, I didn't tell him to pile on you, Lunar, but the thing is a lot of folks here asking Lunar if he's coming, and, you know, you're welcome to if you can make it. We know it's a big haul for you. Unfinished Project also puts up the link for Buick Smith. Should be pinned at the top in the chat. But check him out. I posted his link specifically just because he's got so far to go. Yeah, 49cc. That's right. That's right. It's a 49cc gas engine. And I should get that right because that is significant. That makes it way cooler. If it was electric, I probably wouldn't have watched it. You're correct. It's a 49cc gas engine. But it's a cool video. You should see it. It's one of those I started watching. And I don't know. I kind of like the perspective of it riding around and watched the whole thing. I thought it was neat. Looked like a blast. I'll tell you, the NSB guys, they are such good people, team players. They've subscribed to Buick Smith. Looking forward to seeing the NSB guys at Sykeston again this year. And if you've not been to the No Name Nationals, we have a pretty good little shop with welder and tire machine in the pits, and that is courtesy of our friends at NSB Custom Cars. They bring a tire machine. So if you come and destroy a set of tires in the burnout pit, you're not stuck with having to bring extra wheels and all that. There's a tire machine, full service setup right there for all the machinery you need to get your tires done. We assume most of you guys know how to run one. It's not hard. But here's a hot tip. If you don't, you can watch somebody else. Nothing to it. SSR says, Ed's machine, I've acquired a boring bar. I need some help. Well, Ed knows how to run them. Lars puts up the link to NSB Custom Cars. It's practically a contest to see who can register first in any given year. NSB Custom Cars or Rapid Transit Garage. I think those two are trying to react to the starting pistol the fastest. Leonard, later. Thanks for swinging by. Buick Smith says that bike is only geared to go 31 miles an hour with him on it. It has a coaster brake, about a quarter block to stop at full speed. Need to be diligent, but it'll go 45 with the right gear and a 90-pound jockey. That's pretty cool, man. Now, are you going to bring that to No Name Nationals? Tell us, Buick Smith, you're going to make it, right? You're going to get your 400 and some subs, right? Wrong English is here. What's going on? Buick Smiths, thanking everyone for the subscribers. Hey, thank you for putting out good content. Thanks for being a member of this community. We appreciate you. Unfinished Project says Engine Light Garage is at 340 subs. Yep, he's working on it. He's close. Right now, the people who it's theirs to lose, and this is just a projection, Buff, Indirect Connection, Big Bad Jones, Engine Light, all of those guys, I think it's just theirs to lose. They've got it. It's theirs to lose. I know Riley can do it. The rest of the guys need to turn it up. The first five, just stay on it. The first half of the field just stays on it. They got it. Second half of the field can definitely do it. They can definitely do it. Mean Street can do it. Scarlett can do it. Buick Smith can do it. Blue Grit can do it. You guys can all do it. You just got turned up a little bit, but you can do it without a doubt. And SSR Performance in here is living proof of that. Not that we'd recommend getting 400 and subs in a week, but they did it. And they did it the right way. Hard work, original content, they did it. Unfinished Project puts up the link to Max Wage Dick Dastardly. Yep, check him out. He's about halfway. He just needs just a little more. Needs a little momentum. So one thing, if you guys want to help any of the No Name 500 hopefuls, obviously check out their channel and see if you want to subscribe. That's number one. Number two is share their channel on your social media. So, you can let your other friends outside of this circle know these guys are trying to earn their 500 subscribers. And here's a link to their channels. And if they earn it, I'm sure they'd appreciate your sub. So there's ways to help them. Share their content. Ultimately, it's up to them. Unfinished Project, Scarlett the Four-Eyed Cuda, 241. Again, he's halfway there. Yep, you can share. You can collaborate. Collaborating is great. Takes more effort, but you can do it. And I would encourage you to collaborate, but things that are mission focused on getting those subs, though. I mean, just for the purpose of this. Friends outside of the community, yeah, that exists. Believe it or not, we know people who are cool people who aren't part of the YouTube group here. There are a few. But I have a lot of wonderful friends right here. Just don't collaborate with these Germans, Thumper says. I don't know. What kind of, are they Volkswagen Germans? Okay. If they are 60s Volkswagen Germans, yes. If they are modern Volkswagen Germans, no. How about that? Unfinished Project puts up the link to Blue Grit Garage. Go check him out. Blue Grit Garage has some neat stuff, especially if you're a Ford guy. He put up a video on how to ID the 9-inch Ford rear ends, which is an excellent, useful video. Go check it out. It's one of those videos that his channel was bigger, more people would know about it. But it's a really good video. It's just not as many people know about it. So if there's a video you want to check out, you want to share, that'd be a good one. But there's several good ones. His content is good. It'll raise a little awareness and more uploads. Lots of great friends in this community for sure. I agree. Best community anywhere. Must have 500 subs to go down the track, Miss One-Eyed Cat says. That is correct. Big Bad Jones says, I have a cousin I'm trying to get to the No Name Nationals. Hope he can in a year or two. So here's the thing. If you a goal has to have an action plan and a time frame. Well, absent that, it's a dream. So what I would say is he should just say, okay, no name nationals 2024 or 2025 or 2026, but make that year, make that plan and do it. That's exactly what One-Eyed Cat Don did. It's exactly what he did, and he made it. Don is a good role model for time management, making it. We got several guys like that. Don just comes to mind. Levi says, I'm subbed to all no-name 500 contestants. Levi's Backyard Performance was a no-name 500 contestant in the first year. Thumper says, I told one of my friends to come in, and he did, other than my friend who showed up as a crew, then joined the next year. And then Blue Grit was with us at the first No Name Nationals, helping with Seaman Surfer's car. Right. There's a lot of folks who come as spectators the first year and have so much fun, they come back, and we've had that happen each year. The fun is contagious. Is this the Fuel Toilet live stream? No. That's just a thumbnail from the short I put up. All collaborators will be rounded up and photographed. Well, that's a good way to run off unfinished project now, isn't it? Technician Troy says, I think I'm subbed to everyone. The list of no-name 500 contenders who are currently running is on my channel, which you can just go to my main YouTube page, and a shortcut to that's johnwilburn.com. It redirects there, and you can subscribe to all of them right there. We have 4 or 5 alumnus who are there, and also, too, that'll tell you if you're subscribed or not. It should down below it. Big Bad Jones says he talked me into starting a channel, so now I'm trying to talk him into it. Well, come on, man. He tried to talk you into it. He hadn't done it himself. That's a good way to be a spectator. Dr. Go is here. You know, Dr. Go, if you look right here, if I can do that, that duster, see how mangled it is? One of John Cope's customers has a duster that rolled, and then he won a race right after he rolled the car. So he got the car back in order mechanically, but still has all that body damage, and he won a race. So it's got a picture of it in the winner's circle with all the damage. I thought that was pretty wild. 6% Recycled says, I'm bringing Dougster and Alex from Hubert's Projects along with me this year. You bringing Dougster Wolverine Garage with you? Well, that'll be an experience. Buick Smith's 1985 FJ60 Land Cruiser turned over 300,000 miles today, just broken in. Yep. Danny Boyd's been out in the heat doing body work. Danny Boyd, are you putting up video of this? Tell me you are. Blue Grit says, I have an instructional video on how to loop an old Mustang in third gear at around 50 miles an hour in a parking lot. Not that you'd want to do that. Well, of course we want to see that. So if one of you would put up the link to that, that would be interesting. That'd be cool. Finished project. I have plenty of photographs. It's very simple, Wendy. You have to honor the rest of the no-name 500 guys who are killing themselves to do this, and every participating channel must have 500 subs. And anybody who wants it will get it. You can do it. We'll help you. The thing that always determines if somebody makes it is whether or not they quit every year. Big Bad Jones is in Fort Worth. I think Stephen Hoots is south of there somewhere. I don't know my Texas geography all that well. And Ron lost his keys ears. There's Busted Radio Garage Chris in the house. What's going on, sir? Well, we're just having a little fun here. We've got 89 days, 3 hours, and 17 minutes until the 3rd annual AHRA No Name Nationals. And we're looking forward to seeing you there. And we're giving little updates on the No Name 500 guys who've been doing 30 shorts from 30 days. And I don't know how many days we are into that now. It's getting close to 20. We started on June the 5th. And so I've been doing it with them. And I've gotten 50-some subs. Thumper has. Unfinished Project has. Seems to be about everybody who's doing it has picked up about that many subs. Functional History says, hey, Chris, when are you going to come up here and give me my Volare? What Volare? Rebel Driver's Garage says, amazing what videos will take off. My highest viewed video has the worst camera work, over 1 million. Yeah. Ron English, I misplaced my keys earlier. Hope you will show up. Hopefully. I think Busted Radio created a completely new character. He mixed up Colleen Tebow and Don English and Unfinished Project into one superhero character. Functional Histories misses his Volare with a blue vinyl top. Yep. They're cool cars. Had the bizarre torsion bar set up in the front, but I liked them. I thought they were cool. Dr. Ghost says, sorry that all watch my shorts lately have been boat repair stuff, but that's cool and different. I like that you're doing different stuff. So when I put up shorts, I've mixed in some shorts with Jethro that aren't automotive related, just because I can. And, you know, put in shorts of other stuff. We like to see it. A superhero with one eye. Could be. You never know. Dean Stevenson says a boat is just a convertible car without wheels. Maybe. Dr. Go says we love Jethro. Well, cool. I do too. Big Mike says an FYI for the Mopar guys. I've been dealing with Firm Feel Mopar out of Vancouver for my steering and suspension. Reasonable prices and great customer service. That is good to know. That really is good to know. Do you have a Firm Feel box in your car? And if so, how do you like it? Also, on that same note, there is a video up on My Next Projects channel, which is our friend Clay from up in Canadaville. And he has a video on how to correct the overboost condition on your power steering box on your Mopar. And it costs nothing. So that's a great video. Check it out if you get a chance. Big Bad Jones is out for the night. We'll see you, man. Thanks for coming by. Unfinished Project says that my shorts are the most random things. Throw it up and you'll be surprised what hits. This is true. This is true. Busted Radio says, thanks. We'll see everyone there. Well, we're looking forward to it. And, you know, on the shorts thing, because, like I said, I've been doing the YouTube shorts along with you guys. Let's see if I can bring this up where you can see it. So they're just all over the place. The carburetor one I put up 2 hours ago, so who knows what it's doing yet. It's at 29 views. The Roadrunner horns is at 10,000. The sure grip differentials is at 4,100. The pistol grip shifter is at 6,400. The Roadrunner's at a little over 11. The air filter lid's at 7,600. Jethro trying to reach that tires at 849. The club is at 7,600. The max life is at 6,600. The 199 days to go is at 346. Jethro's motorcycle short is at 4,700. The Mopar diagnostic system's 1,000. Jethro with the fair 522. The leaning tree with the outlet on it 6,600. 2,300 for the wheel bearing debris. The bent spindle's 3,500, and the one with the bearing and races is, that'll focus or not, it's 2,800. So that's how my shorts campaign has gone. So anyway, we'll look at the end of this after the 4th of July, and we'll see how many subs I got and what all the views settled out to, and we'll just see. Buff Del Campo says, we are late working in the shop and recording video. Buff, you're only 40 subs away now. You are close. I'm going to be getting with you soon on doing a live to crest over 500. Rebel Driver says, break out another 1,000, or for those who spent too much on the boat and pay someone else to do all the work. I am terrified of the idea of having a boat. I got a friend who's got a boat. I think it stays broken all the time. Blue Grit Garage, Shazana is talking about putting more shorts on the Blue Grit Garage pup since we got so many views. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Animals can do really well. Jethro's action short of the motorcycles, 4,000 views or so, 3,500 or something. T's Good Time Garage says, evening gang, I'm also part of the former Volare Owners Club. Wouldn't mind having one again. Well, that's cool. Dr. Go says, thanks for helping me responding on the Sure Grip short. Yeah, Dr. Go is, I think, trying to size up how to go Sure Grip for an 8 1/4 rear. And that's one that there's a lot of interesting junkyard support for. A lot of people don't know is out there. Having a following helps. I need to work on that. Yep. You'll get there. But it's the more you upload, keep putting stuff out. And then you will settle into what your niche is, and you'll build that audience. 38 POS Racing asks a great question. Unfinished project. Will we see you at the No Name Nationals in 2024? Stephen Holtz is playing hooky from work to join us. Has to get back to it. We understand. Thanks for coming by. Thank you. They've been a lot of fun to do. I've just done one every day to do them with you, and today's I just grabbed the carburetor off the shelf and did a video on it. Yesterday's I took a little time to set up the horn. Rebel Driver is down to 3 boats. One is now a fountain in my backyard. Nature is about to take you down to 2 boats. Infamous Nova, what's happening? Glad you're here. Thought I saw you sneak in. Busted Radio Garage says, if Unfinished Project shows up, his lunch is on me if I can see him in person. Lunch and supper if I get a photo. Ooh. You know what would be the greatest thing ever, Chris, is if some dude who watches YouTube just walks up to you and says, hey, I'm Unfinished Project. That's how you going to know, right? I know better. You couldn't fool me like that, but I think that's kind of funny. Big Oopty Mike says, I bought my power to manual steering adapter from them. We're in depth with their questions about my project. Dimensions, specs, suggestions for the suspension upgrades needed. That's cool. Dr. Go said my boat is 34 years old and a 38-year-old motor. Old ones seem to hold up okay if I protect them from the weather and fog it out seasonally. The best boat is your buddy's boat. NSB says I can always bring a case of Keystones to the No Name Nationals so I can have a chance of catching a ninja. That's right. Blue Grit says I was told a boat is just a hole in the water you throw money into. It kind of is. Big Mike says I stole the manual steering box out of the Aspen. They seem to believe that it'll work. I think it will. I'm pretty sure it's the same. Or it'll fit anyway. Rebel Driver's Garage says, what do you do if you don't want to be pigeonholed into one kind of video like Will It Run videos? Do other kinds of videos. Dr. Go says, I am the buddy with the boat. Right on. He will have a test question. You got to have two-factor authentication, right, Chris? Well, I got some tells that an unfinished project imposter would have to know that I know. I don't think that could possibly get by me and work. Big Mike says we're actually selling one of our boats tomorrow morning. So you're going to get to have the other happy day in a boat owner's life. Dougster Wolverine Garage is here. What's going on, sir? Dougster, the instructions for Cope Racing Transmission Shift Kit are now up on YouTube. So when are we going to see the Dougster install the first publicly sold CRT shift kit? When will we see that done? The One-Eyed Cat says, visited a buddy at his river lot. Took us out for 45 minutes. Yeah, that's fun. I'm all about going out on the boat. Just not my boat. Can't handle all this boat hate. I'm offended. I don't hate boats at all. I love going out on the boat. I just don't want to deal with the boat stuff. And I'll tell you, I've driven a boat one time. It was the weirdest experience. Oh, it is the weirdest. What I drove was a twin-engine Sea-Doo, and it is just the strangest feeling ever. Imagine having a car that has two flat tires on opposite corners and the absolute worst steering and suspension ever, and about 500 pounds in the trunk and ice. And then take that handling divided by 2, and that's a boat. Busted Radio Garage, got to head out because he's got the morning comes early. We understand. Thanks for coming by. Danny Boyd says metal rowboat is fine. Sure. If you want real boat insanity, buy a sailboat. I will leave that to rich people in the movies, like in Changing Lanes or whatever, or the kids in Jaws 2. But not for me. Indirect Connection is in the house. Indirect Connection running second in the No Name 500. Jason is getting close. After a spring-long snooze, he's got that thing rolling good now. So Jason's going to get his 500 soon. Who else does he sneak in here? Thumper said my ex-father-in-law was a boat guy. Oh, telling you what, the boat thing, I'm whatever people like, just not me. Dust Devil Garage this one time a man clamp. That's right. Dougster, I hope all that's code for I'm doing the shift kit on this day. Deckerwood Custom says, I think sailboat people are different. Yes, I agree. I totally agree. And that reminds me of a video idea I had today. Thumper says that he did fishing charters on Lake Superior, so he was into boats worse than I'm into cars. Wow. Dust Devil Garage has a CRT valve body on the way. Well, right on, man. Good stuff. Dean Stevenson says boats keep society afloat. Ask BTP. Well, I'm sure boats are keeping his livelihood afloat. Where they work at that marina right after Labor Day is when things finally they get a little sanity because summer's crazy busy. So the No Name Nationals is kind of their chance to finally get a little off time from all the crazy, crazy busy summer season. Big Mike says, I think sailboat people are like white glove car guys. These Good Time Garage. I don't wear an ascot, so I'm not allowed around sailboats. Oh man. See, when I think sailboats, I want to think the ones the kids were riding out in Jaws too, right? Unfinished Project said there's a plastic piece that connects the filler pipe to the bedside, and they're unavailable. However, there's a pretty big market for them. If someone's into making parts like that, okay. Rebel Driver says, my father used to sail on the San Francisco Bay. He was smart. Joined a couple of yacht clubs. Tons of people wanted crew on their fancy sailboats. Never had to buy one. Okay. That sounds wild and different. Cultured Redneck Garage says, spent a day on a catamaran in St. Martin, which was awesome, but not as fast as the bass boat I grew up on. Yeah, I'm not in the fast boat thing is not necessarily my thing. Like if I was gonna have a boat, I probably want to have a pontoon boat, like an old man pontoon boat. I could just go out there and float and grill. But even that just seems like such a pain. Rebel Driver says little or big sailboats are way too much work. Give me a boat with an engine. I would agree with that. 38 POS Racing says with less than 90 days, I'm getting things into position. Maybe I should take a page from Big Mike and the Blue Goose. Yes, you should. And speaking of time managers, Andrew Nelson is in the house. Good evening, folks. Catching a few minutes while at a graduation party. Hope everyone is doing well. Thanks for swinging by. Glad you're here. Encourage these guys to crack the whip. They've got 89 days, 2 hours, 58 minutes. It's coming quick. Dougster says, I know a pair of brothers. They make a comfortable living rebuilding wooden speedboats. That's cool. I think it's cool. I think the craft is cool. Like motorcycles, I think the craft is cool. I'm just not into them. Aaron says, well, I like the idea of silently moving through the water. There's nothing quite like the biggest, loudest V8 you can get in the hole and it still floats. Can't disagree with that. Levi says, 75 days for me. I have an event 2 weeks before the No Name Nationals, and I'm cutting it close. There you go. You know what you got to do. World of Wood Chip says, hello, Mohawk. I can't quite make heads or tails of that. .38 says, still not sure if I have another driver. Maybe it can be Thumper's backup. Cool. Dust Devil Garage says, I'm going to try Thrash 4th of July weekend. I will have almost all my parts by then and 4 days off work in a row. Cool. Looking forward to it. Big Mike says, we stopped at a yard sale today and they had 2 wooden canoes for sale, $2,500 and $3,000. So how did a boat dealership turn into a yard sale? Yeah. I like your thumbnail there, World of Wood Chip. I like the truck. Andrew Nelson, do you have anything fun and exciting going on in the world of Nivlac 57? I know that you guys never just, you're not the kind of people who just chill. You've always got stuff going on. Levi says, who will be the live streamer at No Name Nationals? Well, I mean, there's all kinds of people going to be streaming there, so. I mean, it is going on over several days. Buick Smith says, my oldest girl and her man are on the 4th day of a big sky race week in Montana. His best so far is an 8:23 in the 8th, still getting it dialed. Aaron says, 3,000 to paddle yourself? I think not, sir. I would agree with that. Tie a cord around an alligator before I'll do that. Ray says, it's been great. Gotta go. Thanks for coming by, man. Another bizarre comment. No one will die. Well, cool. I'm glad no one will die. Ron English says, I have a Nivlac 57 t-shirt. Yep, good stuff. Andrew, do you have Nivlac 57 shirts in stock, or what's your situation with those, with your shirts right now? Woodchip says his truck does his job valiantly. Poor thing doesn't have an easy life. Unfinished Project says the moon looks awesome right now. I'd recommend looking at it if you're able. I'm not, but the rest of you can. Unfinished Project, you can get a picture of it for me, which I know it won't do us justice. Andrew says all the shirts were stolen. Indeed, but I figured at some point in the future, shirts would come back, and when they do, I certainly am a buyer. Dust Devil says still daylight here. How is it daylight for you in Central Time Zone when it's dark here? Usually, the way the time zones line up, it gets dark earlier there than here. I mean, you're on the far eastern edge of the Central Time Zone. How in the world is it daylight at 9:06? That's pretty cool, though. You must just be in a really open area and get a lot of moonlight or something. Beckerwood says he'll have some. Radini says daylight here in Fiji. Okay, cool. An hour after me. Brian, it's 8:07 where you are, isn't it? Yeah, it's 8 there. But usually where you line up on the time zone, it gets dark a little. Well, it'd be dark literally a little later, but much earlier on the clock. Yeah, so I guess that works. Ah, Buick said trying to get shirt and stickers at the same time. You should be able to do all of that at the same time. It shouldn't be a thing. BNR says it's still daylight here in upper central Illinois, 8:07. Cool. Yeah, I can't really judge anyway. I mean, it's so bright in here, and then I can barely see out the window. Teen says Peckerwood next to be saying the world is flat. Aaron says it's not. My house is level. I have not added them to the site yet. I'm going to add the banners though, and I'm waiting. I'm getting ready to do a whole new batch of banners because all of the No Name 500 guys who put up one short every day from the 5th of July, from the 5th of June through the 4th of July, I'm going to send a banner. So I'm getting ready to order another batch. And I'll do that. I'm going to confirm my pricing and my price breaks. And then I'll commit exactly. I'm pretty sure I know what they're going to be priced. I'll put them on the website. That's what I've been waiting for. These boxes, if I can get this down here. These boxes I have just for shipping banners. When folded, they look like this. And those are just for banner shipments. So I'm getting ready to send out a bunch. Junkyard D said the longest day of the year is yesterday. Still have 2 hours till dark. But isn't the latest daylight day of the year in the evening, isn't it a few weeks later, like the first part of July? So that the longest day of the year in daylight, I think, is the 20th or 21st of June. But the latest daylight, I want to say, is in July, and the time comes off the morning first, I think. I think it's like the 8th, 7th, 8th, 9th of July is actually the latest evening daylight, I think. Regardless, I love 9 p.m. daylight. I wish it was like that year round. Empire of Rust says, howdy, y'all. How's it going, sir? I like the wrecker on your thumbnail there. Blake is still here. Blake, how was your experience at the race in Iowa? Unfinished project, send us a picture. Well, no, we need to see this. Well, that all you can see is the reflection of that goofy looking light fixture I got up there. It's about all you can see. How was what? I'm talking about the race in Iowa, the NASCAR race. You said you were in the stands for that, right? Mean Street Mopar joins us. What's going on, sir? Glad you could make it. He has made big strides in the No Name 500. Yes, he has. How many subs have you picked up so far, Mean Street? Well, your phone's definitely a better camera than I am trying to zoom in on something that dark on that. The latest sunset, he'll be June 20th. Okay, it's a little later. Yep. Levi says, without knowing the future, what's your prediction on the next biggest type of drag racing going to be, or racing in general? I don't know. It won't be roll racing, that's for sure. I don't know the answer to that. Empire of Rust says, I'm trying to decide what to bring to the No Name Nationals. Empire of Rust. Make sure to get registered if you're participating. But yeah, we look forward to it. Dean says, my sunset will be in 5 hours. Cool. Main Street says, I have 192 subs so far. Haven't really kept track of how many I've gotten. Right, but you've gotten several. You've gotten a bunch. I can tell that. Functional history suggests that you bring the satellite. Satellite is that's one of those answers that probably is almost always right, I would think. Unfinished project pops up the link to Dean Stevenson. Empire of Rust says the question is more a question of wrecker and satellite, or just the satellite? Okay. Lars, who keeps track of such things, says Main Street's gotten 24 subs since June 4th. Okay, there's the answer, 24 subs. But that's still good, man. That's pretty much 5% of what you need. And keep getting it. Bad Tree Blake says Dragon Drive is like a week-long hunting trip for dudes that don't try to catch deer. Both parties drink the same, though. Unless Ricky's around. I take it Ricky's not a big drinker. Your car's multi-purpose. What multi-purposes does it serve, Levi? Engine Light Garage says, I need 158 more subs. I'm getting excited. The closer it gets. Well, come on, man. We'll see it. You're getting close. Ricky's a whiskey guy. Okay. There's a link to the Empire of Rust. Check them out when you get a chance. Unfinished project asking about the Death Pumpkin. Second channel up 31 subs. You talking about Bad Tree Marine? I was Bad Tree Marine's first sub. Looks like it's going to be a fun channel, though. Mater's Workshop has dropped by. Supper says waiting for a cop to pull me over because my car smells like a distillery. Levi says my car fits no prep streetcar rules. Oh, okay, but it's still a drag race. You're not driving it on the street. When you drive it on the street, I think you drove it to Lambert's, didn't you? B&R wants the car to do it all. That's your Pontiac, isn't it? Yeah, Main Street is doing a show today. Good stuff. You guys have seen Mean Street's fleet. Tell him what we want to see next. Blue Grit says, I need to figure out how to get more traction from the past 26 videos and 16 shorts. Do a short every day, for one. Every day. And you can do a whole bunch of shorts on one day and then have them release each day. You do that at one time. Uh-oh. Mater said, I'm looking forward to have a roll thrown at me. And unfortunately, he said that with Blake right there where he could see it. So I'm going to put that back up to make sure that Blake sees it. I'm looking forward to having a roll thrown at me, Blake. Main Street Bopar says, I have a fleet of paperweights. Well, let's unpaperweight them one at a time. Clayton says, I can't seem to get shorts to work. I do a short video, but it comes up as a regular video. All you have to do to make short work is you have to film vertically, and it has to be under a minute. And that's it. Under 1 minute, filmed like this, is a short. Empire of Rust says, Lambert is a good time for sure. Indeed, it is a blast. It's great. Dean says, Lars also uses his tracking skills for the good of less nefarious members of the community. Yes, he does. Thumper says he's got 10 videos uploaded waiting to drop. Exactly. Thumper could do all that at one time. So now we need to bring eye protection for Lamberts. It's not the worst idea. Mohawk said, I love that cruise to Lamberts. It's great. So the first year going to No Name Nationals, I drove Mr. Haney. I drove Cope's truck over to Lambert's. On the way back, I rode shotgun with Cope. That was interesting. He's got a heavy foot. Dr. Goes said he took my advice and scheduled a week worth of shorts in one setting. And when I recorded one short during a project, just did a bunch a few minutes apart. Exactly. Mater has all of his done scheduled to come out at 5 in the morning. Yep, you can sure do it that way. 38 shoots the shorts on the YouTube app, goes right on. Yep. T's Good Time Garage says, I got a roll off handoff at Lambert's. Going to insist they go long this time. Yep, they can do it. Some of those guys can really put some heat on those rolls too. Wow, this is interesting. The Empire of Rust says, I visited all 3 Lamberts at least twice and Sykeston 3 times. Well, I've probably been to the Sykeston one that many times, spread out. I've been, because see, I always go on that Thursday at the No Name Nationals. I've been once or twice other while I'm there, but I also have been when Dallas and I have gone down there to make trips throughout the year doing stuff. I've been there. So probably been half a dozen times to Lambert's. Mean Street, will a cracked windshield keep my car from passing tech? You shouldn't have a cracked windshield. If you have a chip, a real small one, you can get repaired, do it so it doesn't turn into a road map. It's one of those things you should just do anyway. We had several broken windshields the first year. We gave a lot of grace for them. If you can change it, I would change it. The Empire of Rust. Does the No Name Nationals have a big group that hits Lamberts? Do we ever? So if you're not familiar, Thursday night, so Thursday, the gates open to the public on Thursday morning. And the tech line opens up and cars get in line for tech. And then about 5 or 6 p.m., we haven't set the time exactly, but either 5 or 6 p.m., we have a cruise to Lamberts from the track. It's 7 miles, and we have a car show at the parking lot at Lamberts, and we flood that place. We have hundreds of people at Lamberts. Cave Dave says he went to the Redneck Rumble in Lebanon, Tennessee this past weekend. It was a serious party. I bet. The Flash Mob car show. Well, it's not really Flash Mob because we give them a heads up. The Diplomat's windshield has been cracked for 30 years. Awesome. Good time to fix it. You know there's no fixing that one. I mean, replace it. Blue Grid has to figure out how to delay the release of shorts from my phone. When I make a short, it releases right away. Well, still go ahead and release them right away. I mean, we can help you, Blue Grid. I believe you can still schedule it from your phone. I'd have to look. DNR says, I tried making a few full videos, pretty much failures, tech and demonstrated I did. Short, same topic as 500 to 1,600 views. I think this is just, in general, people's decreasing attention span. I really think that's most of it. Even 5-minute videos are, you know, I mean, I can get 10,000 views on junk on a short. And good, thoughtful, long-form content will not do that. Mater says, Blue Grid, I'll do a video showing how to schedule from a phone. Right on, Blue Grid. There you go. Go over to Mater's workshop. If one of the mods would put the link up for Mater's workshop, that'd be great. He's going to do a video showing you how to schedule from your phone. Patrick said Jay called him. Okay. Hey, man, you're always welcome. Come hang out. Yeah, seriously. Mater will make a video showing you how to do it. That'll be great. Because you can go out in your garage and just shoot a bunch of them at one time and schedule them, and up they go. Indirect says when you're in the editor, it gives you the option to schedule. You can, but I mean, from your phone, it's a little different. Jay or Jabo? Main Street Mopar says, does anyone know how to remove the trim around a windshield without damaging it? I've heard of a few different ways. What do you guys prefer? I'm assuming you're talking about the stainless trim that goes around the windshield. Mater's going to go ahead and do it right now. Well, cool. Jay from Wisconsin. Very carefully remove it. Well, that's enlightening. How do you remove it? Functional Histories removes it with tannerite. BNR says, my largest crowd is 54 plus all men on YouTube lately. BNR, I got news for you. Your crowd is the same as all of ours. It's 45 to 65-year-old men. That is the YouTube demographic of the automotive community. Blake says probably $15 Mopar parts by Sunday. Sounds like a swap meet where people just want to get out of there. Yeah, B&R does some good tech, but I got to tell you, it's really hard to. People search out shorts and short feed now, and that's just the way the attention span of the world is going. $38 POS Racing says there's an arrowhead shaped tool you slide into the trim and release the clip when you snag it. Sounds like the safest way to do it. Blue Grit says, I have a video on how to remove a hood from a Taurus with Tannerite. Anna said it could get us canceled. It's not going to get you canceled. The worst thing that could happen is YouTube says it's a violation of, community standard. But they're not going to cancel you for it. The worst thing it is give you a strike. But you know what? I think it'd be good for you. Just do it. Say, do not try this at home and do it. I think it's great. I think that will be just what your channel needs. Main Street says, I heard there's a special tool to get behind the clips. Yep. $1,000,000 going to hand polish Jeff's Vertex Magneto. Takes 2 hours when it's super shiny at No Name Nationals. Yep. Tell you what, Jeff is bringing quite a production there. Rabbit Transit Garage says shorts seem to be the only time people have. I tell you, so much competing for people's attention now, more than ever. Sounds like Ron is going to crash out for the night. We'll see you, buddy. Thanks for coming by. Comes too early. Yes, it does. Dust Devil Garage is one of my first videos, shows how to remove trim. Well, there you go. Buffdale Campos says, my shortest short was a big explosion. Well, that's cool. Maybe I need to shoot something or something like that, or blow something up for 4th of July, something cool and healthy like that. Might be fun. Dougster says, I've seen guys use a mini plastic shingle bar to remove trim. Yeah, I've done a lot of ways. I just, want to know what your experience is with the best practices without damaging it. Buick Smith is out. Hey, man, thanks for coming by. We appreciate you. There's a link pinned at the top for Buick Smith. If you've not yet checked out his channel, please do. He is the newest entrant into the No Name 500. And he's got a long way to go and a short time to get there, but he can do it. It's a big draw. People love explosions. Yes, they do. I don't think I've ever actually shot any Tannerite. Now, I've seen plenty of other people shoot it. Usually I'm the one doing stupid parlor tricks at the range when we're doing fun shoot. Bad Tree Blakes is watching the WNBA with his daughters. Caitlin Clark is a big deal in his house full of girls. Caitlin Clark going to issue a receipt to that woman that checked her at time? I hope so. Empire of Rust says, theoretically, the quicker the short, the more view time it gets. The quicker the short, the more likely people are to watch all of it. Peckerwood says Fire and Flames always gets attention. Yep, sure does. Especially Fire and Flames you weren't expecting. One-eyed cat goes to a big family reunion and they set up some Tannerite. World of Wood Chip's going to eat a snack, move one more wheelbarrow of wood, and go to bed. Sounds like a day. Thumper says if it's on top of my engine, I'm expecting fire. Yeah. Big Mike says I know a little bit about Fire and Flames. Yes, he does. Big Mike had a pretty infamous fireball a couple of years ago that inspired the very first content creator workshop. Wood Chip sends peace and chill vibes to the people of your planet. Well, thank you. Dean says, don't get the snack and wheelbarrow mixed up, Wood Chip. That's an appropriate warning label for here. Blake says, talk to text. We were talking about the whole marina thing earlier. I think it's interesting. So that you guys, you're slammed busy throughout the summer. And then finally, Jeremy says it slacks off just a little after Labor Day so that you can breathe enough to come to No Name Nationals. Dr. Go says, I still want to mix in a few long form videos on stuff that might help people or share something unique. Yeah, I agree. I like long form. I really think long form should be all there is. But shorts are a thing, and mixing them in between can be fine. Mean Street's saving money for 440 parts, aren't we all? Wood Chip says yes. Yeah, he used to use his wheelbarrow for dirty farm work, so he definitely doesn't want to get his snack mixed up. Yes, I can see that. Although, that said, you're talking to the guy who laid a piece of pizza on top of the deck of an engine block while he was working on honing it. So, who hasn't done that? Laid a piece of pizza right on an engine or something while we've been working on it. I know everybody here has done that. Indirect Connection says, I'm liking the shorts. Doesn't give me time to bore people. I got to tell you, 1 minute is a lot of time to convey a lot of information. It really is. I did feel slightly pressed for time doing the Sure Grip short that I did yesterday in a minute. That was a little bit pressed for time, or day before yesterday, because that one I really wanted to get through a few things, really hitting my marks, and got it in 53 seconds, but it was tight. Most of the time, though, a minute will give you a lot of time if you don't waste any. Engine Light says, I'm going to be putting some underglow on the Ranger this weekend. Well, thanks for the warning. Thumper says, once I pick up a pizza, I don't put it down. It's getting eaten. Yeah, it's getting eaten, but I'll set it in places like that. Danny Boyd says, just don't do it if you're a plumber. Unfinished Project says, not me. I can believe that. Mean Street says, I might not have the D100 going for No Name Nationals, but I'm going to try to get the Diplomat going in time. I don't see how the D100 is not going to be easier. I really don't. I think that D100 is a lot easier to do than the Diplomat, but I could be wrong. Just have to talk fast on those shorts, or just make more of them. An economy of speech is an important thing. So just have an outline in your head and just hit your high points straight away. That's what I had to do on the short of the Roadrunner horn. Dr. Go says it only takes me about 10 seconds to bore people, maybe less. If you have to have 10 seconds to bore people who are easily bored, you're pretty incredible, because people who are easily bored get bored a lot quicker than that. It's the Honda guy. All right, man, come on. Don't be dropping your stock like that in here. Some things are better not said. Yeah, well, okay, so it's funny you say that. I get it. I get your whole thing about not setting the pizza down. Like, one thing I never do, I never set my wallet down. The wallet is always in my pocket or in my hand. So if I take my billfold out and I need to, like, pay for groceries or gas or something, that billfold stays in my hand while I use my card, put the card back in my pocket. If I have like a card go to pay a check at a restaurant, the billfold stays in my hand until that card comes back, because I don't ever want to leave my billfold laying around. So we all have things we're conditioned to do. Wood chips out. Good, man. We'll see you. Have a good evening. Thanks for swinging by. Wallet, keys, and phone. Wallet, keys, phone, pepper spray, pistol, holster, flashlight, trauma kit. Yes, all that good stuff that you carry every day. Thumper says saying you're a Honda guy is worse than telling us you wear ladies' undergarments and have a foot thing. That was way too creative there to be spontaneous, Thumper. Dougster's a Honda motorcycle guy. Danny Boyd says, I only set things down at home, which doesn't guarantee you won't lose them at home. That's true. At least if you lose it at home, you don't have to worry about it being misused, even if you're denied use of it yourself. Levi says, sorry to make you all hate me. You assume it's not already too late. No, Levi says, sorry to make you all hate me, but I started the addiction of cars through Hondas and RX-7. That's twisted, but we'll give you a pass. Thumper said, I've been working on my writing wit again. Thumper is a witty writer as it is. Empire of Rust says, the fellows at O'Reilly have a duplicate of my wallet by now. I spend enough with them. Yeah. O'Reilly's got a pretty good amount of money from me. Last time I set foot in O'Reilly, I spent almost $400 just on oil. Engine Light said, I started my addiction with Ford Rangers and Honda Civics. Okay. In all seriousness, I think it's cool. I think that the Honda and that kind of thing, if it's performance oriented, is great. If it's the weird thing like the Nopey stuff, that's a whole different direction. But the guys who actually build them and race them on, I think that's great. They are part of the culture. Bad Tree says, shorts and flip-flops. I never felt threatened before. Well, I mean, you don't have to be in a crash to wear a seatbelt either. I mean, I like that it's American. We can all make our choices on what we want to do. Main Street Mopar said it will be easier to get the D100 going, but I can't afford the parts right now. But you have a D150 that runs and drives and everything. What about it? It just has a slipping 904. Just throw another one in it. What about that? Travis's Mopar Garage. What's going on, man? Dr. Go totaled a Honda Civic when I T-boned it on a motorcycle. He was drunk and pulled out in front of me. Ooh. Landon says, I happen to have a Civic. Well, I do too. A CRV is actually an all-wheel drive Civic with a bigger body on it. That's what a CRV is. Thumper said, I used to be able to eat an entire pizza by myself. Now I get full drinking water. Understand that. Big Mike said his son works at O'Reilly to get the employee discount. Good. That's good. Good stuff. Beckerwood says that flip-flops and shorts is his uniform. That's cool. Blake says people have lived because of not wearing a belt. World is a crazy, crazy place. I got a week's in-school detention one time at my school. I went to a private school for not wearing a belt. It was the second or third time I had forgotten to wear a belt with my jeans. And this was way before the pants hanging off your butt stuff and all that nonsense. It was just part of the dress code. And if you weren't looking for it, you'd miss it. And anyway, they noticed, I think it was either the second or third time, I didn't wear a belt. I got a couple of warnings probably, and I got a week's in-school detention. Which really meant next to nothing. It just meant I didn't get my breaks. But, whatever. Thumpers, and now I wear a belt every day. A belt you could lift an engine with. Thumper says, rebuild the 904. Takes about 4 hours out apart together and in. You could do a tailgate rebuild like that, but it all depends what you're doing with it. Ron English says, Valvoline Max Life Oil there, closeout sale. Yeah, indeed. I'll show you the belt I have today, actually. We're talking about belts. This is my regular belt. Let's see here. Give me just a second. Can't take a chance YouTube gets funny about that stuff. But I believe in having like a really heavy belt. Because if you're going to carry, that's what you need. Danny Boyd says a CRV equals a RAV formula, like the Toyota RAV4. Maybe. I mean, I prefer the CRV. The RAV4 is a good vehicle too. Unfinished projects that remind me not to drive in the vicinity of Dr. Go. Thumper says that flip-flops up here on days other than our weekend of summer run a risk of frostbite. Yeah, I guess so. Mater says that my short will be out at 5 and the video on how to schedule from the phone will be out at 5:15 in the mornings. There you go, Blue Grit. Just for you. Mostly old parts, Ron Ward. How's it going, sir? The voice of the No Name Nationals. So we mentioned belts. This is my daily belt right here. You guys see that. It's a Cobra buckle. And I've had it forever. It's pretty worn. You can see how thick that is. It's at least a 1/4 inch thick. Velcro adjusts where the buckle comes to, and then it just clips together like that. It's extremely solid. I mean, made by SOE. If you're going to carry, you need a belt like that. I carry so much stuff in my pockets with a flashlight and trauma kit and all. There's no way that I can keep pants up without a belt. Cool, man. But you don't, I will tell you one thing. It doesn't take a lot of money to do a lot of things. Like you can literally remedy your 904 problem with a seal kit and some clutches, a couple $100. You could take it out, go through it, put it in. You could probably find a used 904, a good running one, for about that much money too. Either way. Most of the old parts. Any luck on a non-Chinese Holly? Ron Ward, I think that casting problem coincides with when they sent the main body castings offshore, and I think that was 2006. I could be wrong. I'm just starting to dig into this. I think that's when it was. But that one I did my short on is it's a 650. But I'll find what I need. I just like to talk to people that I know stuff like you. Engine Light Garage says, I think you live over here by me. Depending on what day you leave for No Name Nationals, it will be cool to caravan together. Yeah. Guys can work it out. B&R says leather and canvas. This belt is all nylon. Nylon. It's got an aluminum buckle. It's a great belt. SOE makes this belt. Special Operations Equipment in Camden, Tennessee. All made in America. Looks like a strap off a World War II gun. He said never break that one. Well, it's a lifetime warranty that I've never needed to do anything with. Dr. Go, take care. Thanks for swinging by. Most of the old parts and rusts, as I watched your video of the 8 3/4 rear with clutches, odd that a 69 had a 742 center section. Ron Ward, that actually came out of a 71 Dodge D100 truck that was owned by a government agency. And it had 557 gears on it, and it came out of a 742 center section. And it had these weird aluminum shims on the caps that shouldn't have been there because it didn't fit right. So I think it was put together by the motor pool. Battery said I had a quick ratchet style one, kept popping loose. Need a new belt. I'm going to tell you, this one never comes loose. Got these two little latches here. And I mean, I don't get to kick back from SOE or anything, but they're wonderful stuff. But let me tell you, those guys don't suffer any fools. So they're like, the SOE is buying stuff from them is kind of like the soup Nazi on Seinfeld. You got to be cool, you got to do it right, and you'll get excellent soup, and there's no problems. But if you act a fool with the soup Nazi, you're out. And these guys are like that too. But they're good dudes. I've got a lot of their stuff. Good dudes. Most of the old parts is my 69, 489 with cone carry. That's what was shown in the book too. I'm just saying what came out of that truck. D100s typically had 741 centers. Indeed. This one, though, I think was something that the motor pool had cobbled together. You can tell that it wasn't assembled in the factory. It had 557 gears. 557s. What about suspenders? Ever rock those? No. I had a friend who died a few years ago who wore suspenders every day, though. That was his thing. The dad belt, I don't know. This is just a good belt. If you carry every day, you got to wear a real belt. Old McDonald said, are the gears themselves interchangeable between the 489, 742, and 741? No, they are not. There are 3 different pinion sizes. 1 3/8, 1 3/4, and 1 7/8. Dakota says 650 or 450 double pumper in the picture. 650. And there's a short on it I just put up today. 557 airplane tug. No, I want to say it was like forestry department or something. It came out of a 71 Dodge, like a D100. It was that dark green. It was short bed, step side, 6-cylinder, 3 on the column. And it had a 557 8 3/4 in the back. Thumper says U.S. Air Force trucks that live on the flight line around the planes aren't supposed to go over 20 miles an hour. So 557s would do that. Yep. Buffdale Campus said my Cougar had 557 gears. That sounds completely wild. Most of the old parts and Russ says I highly recommend the Holley 3310-1 780 CFM vacuum secondary with secondary metering block. That sounds excellent. That sounds like an excellent carburetor for that application. Sounds perfect. Dougster says, I hope you could wheelie on command with 557. Well, Dark Sport's got 513s in it. And I'm going to a low first gear, so that'll be exciting. 38 says his record has 616s. Whoa. I've seen 717s for a 9-inch Ford. That's the deepest I've seen in a listing, just commercial listing of gears. Bad Tree Marine is in the house. River Rats Assemble. So if you've not yet subscribed to Bad Tree Marine, please do so. Blakers, if you want to put up your own link, they can go subscribe and check it out. Big Mike said he's been rolling since 3:20 this morning. Going to call it a night and have a great evening. Well, thanks for coming by and joining us, Big Mike. We appreciate you. DNR says I have a couple of Pontiac Olds 9.3 third members with 557 gears out of vintage gassers. Yeah, these unfortunately are a little chewed because they weren't installed correctly, but I wouldn't be opposed to putting them back in something, just try them out. I really think that I probably should have gone with close ratio in the transmission and 557s in the rear instead of 513s in the rear and a low first gear. It would be the same first ratio, but less drop between the gears. And if you're saying that's only 8th mile, you are correct. That is only 8th mile. And there's the link to Bad Tree Marine. Most of the old parts wrong. Ward says 842s in a Dana 60 on 1-ton B3000s and 71 motorhomes. That sounds like the absolute most miserable thing on earth to try to drive anywhere. I can't even imagine. That would just be like a 35 mile an hour max thing, I would think. At 35 miles an hour, even with a fairly tall tire, you'd still be turning like 3,500, wouldn't you? Blue Grit Garage, just have a good weekend. Thanks for the subs. Got to go. Right on, man. We'll be cheering you on. And speaking of rear gears, if you've not yet checked it out, Blue Grit Garage has a 9-inch Ford ID video out. Check it out. Most of the old parts is the 842 gears were only available with the 318. Yeah, it's probably because the 318 is the only engine that wouldn't blow up with them. Dakota says, my dad has always been a Ford man. He built that 289 for a customer in a 67 Cougar. It's for a 16-year-old kid that doesn't care, but his dad's real excited about it. I guess that's the way it goes. And there's a link to Blue Grit's video right there. Thank you, Lars. Appreciate it. Main Street says, my Diplomat has 456 gears. I hope the 518 overdrive will help. Yes, it will. Cope's truck has a 518 and 488 gears with a lockup converter, but he's also got about a 31-inch tire on that truck. So you're going to have pretty similar ratios to him with a shorter tire. Although I think a Diplomat, I think you can run a 30-inch tire on the back of a Diplomat. I think I've seen that before. Like a 30 by 9. Put Dakota on timeout. Yes. I think Dakota's timeout needs his timeout. Mr. PF Flyer says, hello, anyone here hear about a trans builder named Jim Paquette out of Michigan? It was JPT, Jim's Performance Transmission. I don't know. If Cope were here, I'm sure he has. Just Mopar Joe made it with 2 minutes to go. You're safe, Joe. That's your insulation against getting stuck. Glad you made it. Good to see you. Peckerwood Custom says 456 gears was savage to drive to the drag strip from. Oh, I bet. But overdrives have really changed that. Mostly Old Parts Wrong. Ward says, seriously looking for a feather duster with an 833 overdrive transmission. Very cool. Bad Tree says, Joe Bama Fro Joe. Since we're 1 minute to go in the live and I'm not worried about getting canceled, I'm going to do I've been working on this impression. You guys can tell me what you think of it. This is my impression of Joe Biden at the Juneteenth celebration. I'm still working on it. Mostly Old Parts says, poor Jim Hale had a bad weekend at Flying H last weekend. Slid in the mud and wound up in a cornfield. Ooh, yikes. You think that was good? I think it was pretty accurate. I look too alive. Yeah, I guess I still look like I have a pulse. I mean, if you just go set it up on a tee and serve it to us, right? Well, guys, we're at our time. So I want to thank all of y'all for coming out. It's you can't move your eyes around. Well, yeah, I guess that's true. But anyway, guys, we're at our time. Thanks for coming out. I appreciate all of you. It's been a blast. More stuff to come. We're going to be doing a content creator workshop here really soon. I'm going to have it locked up. I hope I figure out when this weekend, and I'll advertise it out there. But thank all of you for coming out. And I will see you guys again next week. Take care and thank you.